Hi, future graduates of Fern Creek High School. My name is Gentry Hughes, and I've been asked to spend a few minutes with all of you today to share some practical advice, some tips, and general skill development to help you prepare for a job interview. So let's get started. I would like to begin with my favorite quote, and that is that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And that's what a job interview is. It's a first impression. So we're going to talk about making a positive impression, a great impression that will help you win the job that you're looking for. So let's get started. Number one, I'm going to sort of sequentially walk through the process of a job interview and help you prepare for each step along the way. So, what happens? The first step in a job interview is introductions. So, you'll generally walk in, the interviewer will ask you to take a seat. But as you meet this person that will be interviewing you, generally they're going to reach out to shake your hand. This is your chance to make a great first impression. So, we're going to make a great handshake here. We're going to talk about that. So, what is a great handshake? A great handshake is a firm handshake. It's not a weak handshake, but it's not a too strong of a handshake. We don't want to be overbearing either. So it's a firm handshake that also, as you're making that firm handshake, you're looking the person in the eye. So you're exuding confidence, and they're seeing that you're excited about meeting them, and that is your positive first impression. So we want to make sure that we're making a nice firm handshake and we're making very good eye contact. Number two, dress and appearance does matter. Folks, you may believe it's unfair, but at the end of the day, it's a practicality that you will be judged and assessed on your appearance. So what I ask you to do is to make sure that you're dressing appropriately for the job interview. So in some cases, it may require a suit and a long sleeve shirt and a tie. In other cases, it may just be dressing appropriately. And so what I suggest is that if you do have an opportunity, ask someone maybe that works for the company, if you know them, if you have the ability to even ask the person you're going to interview with, what's the appropriate dress and attire. That's the way to ask. What is the appropriate attire? They may tell you it's business casual, which is a nice pair of slacks and a long sleeve button down type dress shirt for a man. For a woman, it might be a dress or a pantsuit type thing. So the most important thing is to be conscientious about this and to dress appropriately for the job interview. Let's talk about resume. When you go into the interview, you're going to have probably already submitted a resume, but you need to bring your resume with you to the interview. The resume, in my opinion, should be kept to one page. I would suggest that you have multiple people review your resume before you've submitted it. You can lean on your parents, it may be a friend, you could lean on a counselor, or maybe just another adult that you think might be able to give you critical, positive feedback about your resume. Content is less important. You graduated from high school, you don't have a whole lot of work experience. That's okay. What really matters here is the detail. You want to make sure that you're spelling words correctly. You want to make sure you're using the proper grammar. Those are the important things. The details are what the employer is looking for. If you're not into the details and you have misspelled words, bad grammar, your format doesn't look great, they're going to judge and assess you based on what they're seeing. And you have to remember that resume is a direct reflection of you. It is a mirror looking at you. So you need to spend time with it, get feedback from other folks. I'm going to make a couple of other suggestions about your resume. I highly suggest you use good paper. go spend a few extra dollars and get some solid, nice paper. And in addition to that, make sure that you're bringing additional copies of your resume to the interview. Put them in a small folder. Doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to spend a lot of money. What you're saying is, I've used good paper, so this interview matters to me. This job matters to me. And I brought extra copies. I'm being prepared. I've provided forethought, and you're showing that that this job matters and you care about this job through your preparation. Okay? So as we get into the interview and you come in and you have your resume with you in your binder, let's not give that resume right away to the person that's interviewing you. Let's hold this folder in our lap and let's wait until the interview requests the resume. I don't know how many times I get handed a resume and I haven't asked for the resume. You have to realize that this interview is being led by the interviewer. It's their meeting, it's their interview. So let them take the lead and let them direct you in terms of what they want to ask and in terms of when they want to receive a resume from you. They can see that they've brought it and they may ask for that. So let's let them take the lead. That's the golden rule. It's their interview. I suggest you speak until spoken to. You let them take the lead. They're going to go through a series of questions. They're going to want to get to know you. They're going to ask for your background. I'm also going to suggest that you bring a notebook and a pen with you. I like to see when I'm interviewing people, and I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of folks over the years and hired hundreds of people as well. I like to see that they're taking notes during the interview. It's telling me that they're paying attention, that they're listening, and that what I'm saying to them and describing to them is meaningful about the role. So that is a best practice for you, and I suggest that you do that as well. The next step in the process is they are going to go through a series of asking questions about yourself and about your background. I want to suggest to you here, and this sounds very simple, but I've also seen many candidates fail in this area. Answer the question that has been asked to you and really nothing more. Let me give you an example. Mr. Jones, where did you go to high school? Now, it's on your resume, but they want to hear from you. They want to see how you speak. They want to see that you're making good, positive eye contact. And so when you answer this question, don't go into a lot of detail. Don't go into previous schools that you've been. The appropriate answer is, I graduated from Fern Creek High School, period. Now, if they want to know more, they will ask you more. If they want to know about where you live, about different subjects that you've taken, don't go into that yet. Let them lead and direct the interview. Okay? Couple things while you're in the interview as well. There's a reason that I'm sitting here the way I'm sitting. I have good posture, and you guys may think this is funny, but these things matter, folks. I'm telling you. Keep your feet on the ground. You see, I'm not in a casual position. I have my back fairly straight. My head is up. My head's not in my lap. I'm not looking down. I'm making good eye contact with the person interviewing me. I don't have my legs crossed. You don't see me with my hands on my face or covering my mouth. These are not good interview postures. So in an interview, they want to see you confident based on your posture. So make sure you're serious in practicing these types of things and being prepared. So I also like to see that when you're answering a question, that you're answering the question in a fairly succinct manner. Don't go on and on and on. And you need to practice knowing when you're going to stop and answer. The worst thing you can possibly do is get asked a simple question and drone on and on and on about things that are not related to the question that was asked to you by the interviewer. I believe that an interview is a great time to talk about failures and mistakes that you've made. Don't be afraid to talk about these things. Okay, mistakes and failure, they're good things. All right, and they're only bad when you haven't learned from your mistake. So you're going to get into an interview and multiple interviews, and you're going to be asked about your strengths and about your weaknesses. Now, look, everyone can quickly describe 2 to 3 strengths, things that they feel like they do really well. But people generally struggle when it's time to talk about potential weaknesses or what employers call development areas. So think about this. Ask your parents, ask your counselors, ask your friends, have them give you feedback, and tell them that you want genuine, honest, transparent feedback about what they think may be areas, 1 or 2 areas, where you could get better, where you could improve, and where you could develop. Be prepared to talk about those things. I'll give you an example for myself. When I get asked in an interview about development area for me, I talk about listening. I need to do a better job of listening. When someone is speaking to me, I don't want to just hear them. I want to listen to what they're saying. Okay. So I practice that. I'm aware that I'm not as good a listener as I could be. I want to be a better listener. When I'm in social situations, I will practice listening. I'll ask probing questions so I can listen more. So I talk about that when I'm in an interview, and I challenge you to be prepared for that question. So if you're not surprised if you get asked for an area where you feel like you need to develop, or you think is a weakness or an area you need to improve upon, be prepared for that. Okay? Good. Um, Smile and be pleasant. Employers want to hire people who are well adjusted, who have confidence. They're not overconfident, but they're happy, they're joyful, they have a good attitude, they work well with others. So exude that in the interview. You want to make sure that you're exuding a positive outlook, so they get the impression and know that you're not only going to be a good employee, but you're also going to be a great team player on their team, and you're going to get along well with your coworkers. So when the interview wraps up, generally they're going to ask you if you have any questions. So I love to when folks that I'm interviewing are prepared and have a few questions in advance that they're prepared to ask me. Why is this important for me as an employer and an interviewer? One, it showed me that they care about this role enough to do a little bit of research on my company, and they learned a little bit about the company. Most companies have a website. They may have even know a little bit about me because I'm on LinkedIn, and they went out on LinkedIn and learned a little bit about me. They may ask me a little bit about myself. They may ask me a little bit more about the company, about the culture. What is it like to work for your company? When people come work for you, why do you think they're coming to work for you and your company? These are great interview questions. There's more that you can find out on Google if you just Google good interview questions. Be prepared for one or two of those, and you may already have those written down in your notebook, and you can refer to your notebook and say, okay, I have a few questions. Again, it shows me that you're prepared, you're serious about this opportunity, and very interested in it. In wrapping up, you're going to stand. You're going to look the person in the eye. You're going to thank them for their time. You're going to thank them for the opportunity. You're going to shake their hand as well. And you're going to walk out of there knowing that you were prepared for this interview and you gave it your best, and you had the best possible opportunity to earn that job. So good luck to all of you, and wish you best of success in your life, and take care. Bye-bye.